In this video guide, we're going to see how we can align objects in Blender using either like simple objects or group of objects like this kind of table that I created with really simple shapes. So let's get started here with a simple scene. I'm going to delete the camera and the light. We're just going to work with the cube. And first of all, you want to activate the add-on. So to do this, we go to Edit Preferences, and we look for here in the extensions Align with just one L, and then Tools. Okay, and you click on Install. So there you go. It's going to be now available here in the add-ons as well. So once it's activated, you'll find this into the item section here on the top in the sidebar. Let me activate the screencast key so you can see a little bit better. So you can press N to open the sidebar. And by the way, if you're having difficulties with really basic stuff, you can check the video course in Blender. So down here you have the Align tools. Now, first of all, to use the Align tools, you need to have at least two objects. So one to align and one that is going to be like the center or the object that we're going to refer to. So this one right here, I want to make it like a pavement. So I'm going to do like, let's say 10 meters, 10 meters, and let's make it 0.3 meters. Okay. And then I want to create a pillar or a column. So I'm going to create another object. So add cube, and then I'm going to move it randomly here on, it doesn't, you can already see the alignments here with the X and the epsilon, by the way. But anyway, let's make a column. So this is going to be 0.3, 0.3, and it's going to be 3 meters high here in the dimensions. Okay, so we can start to do now the first alignment. So if I select holding Shift two objects, the one that is going to be brighter is going to be the active object. So if I hold Shift again and click again, this is now going to be the active object, the pavement right here. And this is going to be the object that we want to align. So also a suggestion is just give names so it's better. So I'm going to call this pillar, and I'm going to call this pavement, and then hold Shift, select, and switch the active object by holding Shift again and clicking on the pavement. Okay, so first thing first, we can definitely go sometimes and align all the axes, but most of the time you want to align just one of these. So if you align X, it's going to be aligned on the X axis. On the epsilon, it's going to be here. So align on the epsilon values. And on the Z, we are already aligned. Now, one thing it's important that we are using the origin here, which is this orange dot. It's called the origin, but you can call it also like pivot of the object. So it's using those two to do the alignment, which is sometimes good, sometimes it's not really good, because if I want to put this pillar on top of the pavement, well, this doesn't give me that type of operation. Now, another thing you could do is align the rotation. So if I rotate, for example, here with the rotate tool on the Z, and I select again this as the active object and click on align rotation Z, you can see this one here will be aligned or oriented the same way as this other object. So this also could be useful. And then you can also do it with the, let me go back, Control Z. You can do it also with the scale. So now the column here is the active object. So if I do align scale all, you can see that the pavement now has been transformed into the same exact pillar, the same exact column. So you can use location, you can use rotation, you can use scale with these type of alignments, and you can do it only on one axis or two or three, depends. Well, actually here you can just do it on one or all, but here you have more options. So if you click on the advanced button here, it's gonna open this new panel. And here you have like the possibility to restore the operator default. So you can always go back to the default, which is this one right here, or you can create new presets for you that you can reuse. For example, what I want to do here is align correctly this column in terms of, let's say, first of all, X and epsilon together. So I can do it here. I can do X and epsilon by, again, selecting the active object like this. Or let's go now in the advanced align operator panel here. So first of all, again, this is the active object, which is indicated, so it's pav, the pavement. And then we want to know what we want to use. So we can use the cursor, for example. So align the cursor to the active. We can move the pivot, just the pivot of the object or the object itself. Now, usually you want to do it with the object. So let's do it with the object, and we want to align, for example, the x and the epsilon. And here we want to choose where. So let's say we want to use the pivot and the pivot, so the origin of the two. So when I say OK, you can see it's going to do the same exact thing that we were doing right here. So let's go again in the advanced, and now let's do something different. So now I want to only use the z, deactivate the x and the epsilon, and choose for the active object, which is the first one. So this is the reference point, and this is the destination point. So in the destination point here, we want to put max because it's going to be the maximum z value for this object. So it's going to be basically the top of this object, and then the minimum of the column object, which is the reference point object, which is going to be moved. So doing this, let's say OK. You can see we aligned the column exactly there in the middle, and at the top you can see it also in the side view like this. So that's a perfectly positioned column right there on the pavement. Let's make some other example. Every time you can restore to start from the beginning. So instead of using the object, now we're going to use the pivot, and this changes a little bit, and is preset on active, but could be also self or selection. And then we can choose again the align location. So let's put like the pivot on the bottom instead of leaving on the center right there. So I can choose active Z, and then here the maximum, or again bring it back to the center, or bring it to the pivot, which so it's not going to do anything, or the minimum, or the cursor. So where we want to put this, let's say we want to put it in the minimum. So let's say OK, and it didn't work because we need to activate this, because otherwise it's not going to consider the active object as part of the operation. So let's do it again, and now it works. So be careful with that. Let's continue. So advanced, and here we're going to use the cursor. So right now we're going to influence the cursor, and we're going to align, let's say again to the Z, but this time we want to put that to the maximum, so the top part of the column, and say OK. You can see the cursor just went right there. If you want to reposition the cursor, you can do Shift S, and you can choose all these different possibilities. Now I will select these two, and let's go back to advanced, and here you will see that you have also like advanced options. So first of all, I want to switch back to object, and again we have these x, epsilon, and z, and then which one we want to use. So the cursor, the minimum, the maximum, the pivot. Oh, we also have like additional options, so advanced options. So when you have two separate objects, or three or four, if you want to use them together, you can do consistent selection. So let me create another copy of this. So Control C, Control V. I'm going to rename this as top, and I will move it with the alignment to the Z up. So I'll select the first two here, and then the last one holding Shift. So this is going to be our reference, and we want to bring this bottom part right there at the bottom of the top part. Let's say we want to do this. So if I go here and say, okay, I'm using the top as a reference object, and then here in advanced options, I want to use constant selection. Let me restore everything so make sure that everything is fine. So advanced constant selection, and then the align location will be Z. And also here you can put some offsets if you want here in the advanced options for the rotation, the scale, and you have some extra offset you can put. So it's going to be the maximum here, and here in the top is going to be the minimum. So let's do it and say OK. So you can see that that goes exactly right there at the minimum part of the top using the maximum part of these two objects together. So let me go back. Okay, Control Z, and let's do it now without the constant selection. So same selection here, but without constant selection, maximum for the bottom and minimum from the top, and say okay. So you can see what happens. They both go right there at the bottom, which is not good. So when you do consistent selection, it's gonna consider them kind of like a group, or if they were joined together. So let's do it again and say okay. Now I want to take all of them and again treat them as one selection, Z, and perhaps we can now use the minimum here of these three and align to the cursor, for example, and not just move the two without the other one. So let me go back. And also what I'm going to do is do Shift S and put the cursor to the word origin so that it goes back to its original position. Okay, and now I want to move the three objects together. So I'm going to go again here, and you want to set active to, and there it is. Now, what if I copy this composition here? Let's say that this is going to be like a table, or a structure or whatever, and I'm going to move this aside. Now, first of all, if you want to have also the equal distribution, you need to put it yourself. So here I can say, well, this is minus 18 meters. Okay, so if I do the next one with Control C, Control V, I need to move it again exactly minus 18 meters. I need to put it right here if you want this aligned, or you can check here when you move them the position of the location. And also you can duplicate, so you can do Shift D to duplicate, and if you want to go align already, you can just press the Y or the X or the Z. So I'm going to press Y, I'm going to click somewhere there, and then I'm going to fix the value to be precise in terms of distribution. So these are now are aligned and equally distributed. Now, let's assume that we're going to scramble them a little bit, for example, here along the epsilon. So we are modifying the X values of these. Okay, and we want to put them aligned together again. Now, one option would be to join them together. So select and do join. So once they're joined, or Control J, they can be treated as one single entity. So for example, I can name all of them. Remember, the active one is the leading one, and then, for example, I can align on the X values like this. Now, the only problem is, okay, now I can align them on the Z, on the epsilon, on the X, and using one object as a reference. But what if I want to modify that again? So these are all now joined together. So I either explode them back, or a more flexible way is to use the group, which we covered in the Blender video course. So I'm just going to go back here, and I want to create a group rather than join them together. So for the group, you need to create an empty object. So you go to Add, Empty, there you go, and give it a name. So let's call this group. Okay, and then you need to put all these three into the group. So you select them, and as last, you select the group or empty object, which is right there. It's like a cross. Okay, and so that's now the active object. So when you do Control P, is going to parent that those objects to the empty object like this. So now I can select the single entities that compose this kind of structure, or I can just double click on the group and it's going to select everything. So if I now copy this, Control C, Control V again, and put it like somewhere so that it's going to be then aligned. So every time essentially I create a copy, it creates a copy of the group, and inside that you will find those elements. Okay, so let's say I align them like this. Well, sorry, they're not aligned, they're just randomly distributed. So let's say I want to align them. So this time I will not select the single entities because I will do like kind of a mess. So if I, let's say, select all of these and align them on the, let's say, epsilon, well, you can see that now it's not really working. But if I select only the group objects right here, so only the empty objects right here, and I align, it works. So, and they're gonna be like also separated. So if you want access to them separately, you can do it. So these are the various options you have for aligning things in Blender. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe to the channel to stay updated for more and for more updates in Blender, and join if you want to support us and thank us. So this will help us to create also more videos. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.